I think I named it On the Run because, man, I was just on the go. I had just been released from jail, and the first project I dropped was Finally Free. And then I felt like while I was moving around and going from place to place, I had created this project, and I wanted to call it On the Run because, you know, that's basically what I was doing. I was everywhere with it, and I was literally on the run when I recorded it, so called it that.
Now, the artwork. Give me the whole concept of the artwork and why it looks the way it does.
The artwork, when it comes to artwork, I usually leave it in the graphic designer's hands. And so same thing basically with this project. I didn't really have no say-so in it. I just hit him up and was like, yo, I need you to make me some dope artwork. I'm about to name the tape On the Run. He came back with the police signs and the caution tape and all that with my face overlooking a crime scene. And I thought that was just dope. I didn't even second guess it. I knew that we were gonna use it. So shout out to Rockstar too, man, for the graphic design. It's dope.
The release date, was there any significance on this release date for this project?
No, I didn't really want a release date for the project. I wanted to just drop it out the sky.
Like a surprise?
Yeah, like a surprise. Like, you know, people were listening to Finally Free, and everybody in the streets talking about Finally Free, radios, DJs, everybody talking about Finally Free, and I was like, damn, this would be the perfect time to just drop On the Run on them. And that's what I did. One Friday, I woke up early in the morning, I just got on the phone with my few of my business associates, and excuse me, we just worked on dropping it that day, and we literally dropped it that day.
How far apart was the release date of On the Run from Finally Free? How much time had elapsed?
I believe it was like a 3-month space or something.
Okay.
Like almost a 3-month gap. I didn't really give it Finally Free no time to breathe, man. You know what I'm saying? I just dropped it, bro. It was such a dope project, and I kept listening to the songs over and over, and I felt like this year is actually the first year with me rapping that I've ever dropped 2 projects in 1 year. I've never dropped 2 projects in 1 year before. So the music, like I said, I was listening to the music and it was so dope, I just wanted to get it out there.
Were you hesitant on doing that because you're not used to doing more than 1 project a year?
Not at all. And the reason why I wasn't hesitant is because when I was locked up, I had a lot of time to think and shit. So I told myself that when I get out, I'm gonna start doing things that I didn't want to do or that I wasn't used to doing. Like I wanted to try different shit because I felt like in some way I took advantage of my job and what it is that I do, which is music. I love doing it. I love my job. It's one of the best jobs in the world. And with me getting myself into legal trouble, I feel like in a way I sold myself short and I didn't take advantage. And I was taking advantage of what I had going on. So I made myself a promise while I was locked up, like when I get out, I'm gonna do shit that I didn't like doing, which is dressing how some of my peers told me to dress, reaching out to artists that I didn't, it's not that I didn't want to, but it was just like, I'm just not that type of guy, you know what I'm saying? So I told myself when I got out, I'm gonna reach out to different artists. When artists come to the city, I might pop up to the club on them, you know what I'm saying? And so I just been doing a lot of different shit that I didn't do before.
Now, you bring up an interesting point that I kind of want to analyze a little bit. Since you started getting more and more popular from DC and you started getting more successful and you started signing deals and becoming part of this label or this or whatever the case may be, how many times in that time span do you think you've been in and out of the jail system?
I believe it might have been 3 times maybe.
3 times.
3 or 4 times maybe, yeah.
My question to you is, let's say somebody's watching this and they see you go to jail one time. Okay, he's out. He's back to being a recording artist and he's got the momentum and he's doing it. Okay, he goes back to jail again. Loses momentum. Okay, now he's out. He's dropping new music again. He's a recording artist again. Why, I don't want to say why put yourself in that position, but why did that happen? Like, you know, a person might say, okay, he goes to jail one time, maybe he learns from that, doesn't do it again. Okay, now he's going a second time. Did he learn from, now he's going a third time? You get what I'm saying? Can you answer somebody's thought process on that?
Well, honestly, that's a hard question to answer, man, because everything is in God's hands. That's first of all. But as far as me, myself personally, the area where I was born and raised is it's a real rough area. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard, man. It's hard to not to want to protect yourself when you know it's killers and robbers on every corner. And you know, I think a lot of people look at Washington D.C. and and if you've never been there, you only think about the president living there, and you don't really know that Washington D.C. is one of the roughest places to live in America. And I've been to every state. I've been to every state except Hawaii. And we talking about Miami, Atlanta, Cleveland, Chicago. I've been to all those places, man. And only place I can say that really equal up to the level of danger is maybe Chicago, Detroit, Ohio, Atlanta, Miami, and some parts of Texas, and some parts of LA. But nothing gives me the chills like being in Chicago or being in DC. It's a rough area to move in. You know what I'm saying? If that can answer your question. But also at the same time, I'm not a violent person. You know what I'm saying? All of my charges are non-violent charges. I've only been arrested for protecting myself. Now, granted, a more mature person or a person who walks a finer line than me would say, well, you should have had security. But security can't literally go with you everywhere you go, period. They got families too. They got kids too. It's been several days where I had security, and it's been a day where my security had to be off that day. You know what I'm saying? And
we're talking professional security?
Yeah, professional security. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's hard to keep, I mean, I guess in a way it's not hard to keep professional security with you everywhere you go, but dog, we just seen Chloe and Tristan Thompson at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna have security with you everywhere you go. And I just wanna protect myself. I've been shot before, I've been stabbed before, I've been robbed before. So I'm not no violent person. I'm not out here committing crimes, robbing people, shooting at people, killing people. I'm not doing none of those things. The only thing I've ever been arrested for was possession, unlawful possession of a handgun, because I didn't have a license to carry. But I've never been sought after a crime like, oh man, it's been an assault with intent to kill and we heard you were a suspect. Never. You can't, you know, this is all public record documents. My lawyers say this every time I go to court. I'm not a violent person. I don't rob, kick in people's houses, none of that. I rap. Only thing I choose to do is to protect myself because I live in a dangerous area. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what we were taught to. That's what you had to do. You had to protect yourself because you never know where it happens at. They shooting up elementary schools. They shooting up movie theaters. They shooting everywhere now. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what can you do? It's like, damn if you do and damn if you don't.
Now, with your attorney at hand and with this, these remarks you made, did judges show leniency for that reasoning, that mentality?
I believe there were a few judges that were fair to me in understanding my situation, yes. I'm not gonna talk down on every judge in the whole world because every judge is different from, you know, other judges. And there were judges who said, you know, well, I understand where you're coming from. I understand what you being shot before and being stabbed before, you have to protect yourself. But, you know, by that time, unfortunately, it was already too late. So I had no choice but to get security and, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, people who are licensed to carry a weapon because, you know, now I'm a felon now. So, but yeah, it was a couple judges who were fair to me. I ain't gonna talk down on every judge. I'm not that type of nigga.
Another question comes to my mind is, you being from such a dangerous city, Washington, D.C., was there ever a thought to move to another city to alleviate the stress or pressures of that city?
Yes, it was. I've lived in LA. I've lived in Miami before. So I have moved. I got kids, you know what I'm saying? I got a son in LA, I got a daughter in DC. I'm a single parent. My baby mother passed away in 2010. So I've been a single parent. And, you know, it's hard living away from your family. And especially with me being a single parent in the job that I have, my mom felt like that it was gonna be unfair to my daughter to raise her with the type of lifestyle that I live in, with my job being so extravagant. For an example, me being in the studio 5 nights out of a week for more than 13 hours, you're not spending time I'm not spending time with my daughter anyway. Then when my daughter comes to the studio, it's like, you know, the music is too loud, she can't sleep, and you know, it was just it was just weird, you know. And living in LA, that was hella far, and you know, so. But I am, now that I'm now that I'm older, I do want to move again, man, and just get out the city. But you know, I'm on parole and probation now, and it's like asking them to move, man, is a huge hassle.
My question to you moving forward, because there's other rappers watching this, and not everybody's in the same circumstances with you, but I'm sure a lot of people watching this can relate. Like, okay, I'm a felon, I got to hire professional security, but I still got to deal with the pressures of living in the city with the robbers and the killers and this, that, and the third. What does one do at this point, knowing what you know now, moving forward?
I think the smartest thing to do is this. Take care of your business and stay out the way. And, you know, make sure you're always safe, man. You know, hire that professional help. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing clownish about making sure that you living on earth every day, especially when you got kids. You're no longer living for yourself now. You know, I don't even consider me taking care of myself and taking care of my responsibilities. I don't even consider that a job anymore, because now my job is to take care of my son and my daughter. You know what I'm saying? I have to be alive for that. I have to be working in order for me to do that. You know, I can't do that if I'm dead or if I'm in jail. So you have to get that professional help. If you're not a felon, go get your gun license, man. You know, the world is getting more leniency with gun licenses and allowing you to carry your weapon and conceal your weapon, or however that goes. You have to go get that, take care of that. I tell all my homies who not felons, excuse me, hurry up and go get your gun license, because you never know what may happen and you gotta protect yourself. A lot of people ain't in the financial bracket to hire security, you know what I'm saying? Some artists too. It's some artists you might see that's buzzing, that's really popping, but they budget at that point won't allow for them to be able to pay for a certain professional security, you know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, then you gotta get one of your homies, one of your good men, to go get a gun license and let them carry that and let them, bro, man, come with me to this show, man, bring your iron with you. And when, you know, when things start picking up and when you start getting more and more money, then you could pay your dog, pay your man to be your highest, your security, you know what I'm saying? Put some money in his pocket and, you know, one hand washes another, both hands wash the face. That's how I look at it.
Not only that, since you do bring up that point, maybe your friend, your homie, could actually maybe get some security training.
Right. Yeah.
And that could be a career path for somebody as well.
Right. Yeah. Right. You're correct. You're correct. That's definitely an option.
And also too, just thinking of, you know, expanding on what you said. I don't think, I mean, whether you have a license to carry or you're a felon, you're not allowed to carry, maybe self-defense training is something anybody should take just to be on their P's and Q's and kind of know how to check for certain surroundings. It's just a thought that just
yeah, right. But you know what? This how you know it's a double-edged sword, because the world kind of fucked up. In D.C., it's no self-defense law in Washington, D.C. at all. So just imagine knowing that if you at home with your daughter and you in the living room chilling, and the nigga kick in your door and shoot you, and you shoot him back and he die, you still get charged with murder. But you wasn't doing nothing but just sitting in your house chilling with your kids. That's unfair. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Florida and all these places with these stand your ground law, I think every place should have a stand your ground law. Look how much breaking and entering is going on now with all these people with these doorbells with their cameras on it. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm in D.C. and I'm in the living room with my daughter and the nigga kick in my door and shoot me and I shoot him back once and he die, how do I get charged with murder when I wasn't doing nothing but chilling with my family? That don't make no sense. And that's why a lot of people, a large amount of people in America feel like that the system is set up for you to fail, because you're already born into a low income family. So 9 times out of 10, you're living in public housing. And you got all these rules and laws that don't allow you to protect yourself, and you living in an environment where everyone's broke and everyone is starving and everybody wants what someone else has because they have nothing. So it's just fucked up.